It looks like I'm gonna switch to Starcraft Remastered, maybe for a week there, guys. Train, and then take on Tasteless. Tasteless has been challenging me for too long now. Because I've destroyed him over and over again. Like, I had no business beating him at the SC2 Remastered anniversary, the 20th anniversary. I had no idea what I was doing. Then I made a hatchery in his base, and he died. And he's so salty since. He's like, CatZ, hey CatZ, when are we playing a best of 5, man? Hey CatZ, you owe me a rematch, man. And I'm like, I don't think so. But I think it's due time. Like, I think I've held it over his head too long. So now I think I have to play Tassels. So we're gonna make a big show match. But for it, I'm gonna train for like a week probably. So I'm guessing like I'll play SC2 Remastered for a week instead of SC2. I'm thinking maybe at the start of next month or maybe sooner. I don't know. The longer I wait, the better Tasteless gets. Who will cast it? Not sure. But the longer I wait, the better Tasteless gets. So it's probably wisest to go in as early as possible if I'm gonna stand any chance. Because if I go in, I'm gonna go into to fuck him up, you know. I'm not sure if Artosis will cast it. We're probably going for some prize pool. We're gonna hype it up. I mean, I wasn't terrible at 1v1, but yeah, 2v2 was much bigger in Brood War. I was one of the better 2v2 players. Not like one of the top, but you know, top-ish. Druby was better than me, but he was my partner. We were A in IC Cup. I also won a PG Tour season or a WG Tour season. I'm not sure, one or the other. WG Tour I think had seasons. I won 1 or 2 seasons with Naranjito, my Peruvian ally. We were very good as well for a while. Then I switched to playing with Druby. And with Drury, we just laddered a lot, and we were pretty up there. Like we were top players. You know, we could beat anyone in 2v2. But in 1v1, I was mediocre. Like you know, I was in 1v1. I would have been the equivalent of Kale Baracus. You know, like a Kale Baracus is what I would have been. Like not quite good enough to like play at a competitive level, but good enough to like take games from anyone, you know, from time to time, like from a good Korean or something like that, you know. Tasteless was a little bit better than that. Artosis was better than that. Day 9 was probably the best out of the bunch, out of them. Jeff was good at some point too. In Control was good, probably better than. I mean, they all had their peaks, is the thing. They all peaked at different times. And there is one story in particular that is always rehashed, and I'm sure we'll surface it at some point. Because it is my least proud moment, okay? I'm not a man of regrets. But if I had any regret, it would have to be this one, okay? So I don't know if you guys have watched like the Day 9 100, where Day 9 talks about. It might have been in the 100. It's one of the Day 9 important episodes where him and Tasteless are training to go to WCG USA, and like his mom or their mom is an angel. She's wonderful. I know her. And she's, you know, she's like telling them to chase their dreams, and it's a really moving story, you know, and they're training really hard for it. So one day I played some customs with Tasteless, and I 6-0'd or 6-1'd him. And then I posted the replays, you know, because posting the replays was kind of like the only way to get credit back then. And I didn't know that he was like practicing for something important, you know. So I just thought, wow, I just 6-1 or 6-0 Tasteless. You know, Tasteless is like a known player, like a good known player. And I just 6-0'd him. So, gonna post those replays. And yeah, there was clear discord between us after that. Like, Tasteless was obviously not happy with me posting the replays. So Tasteless fucking hated me for a while. I don't remember exactly like what went on, you know, but we used to hang out at the same places, like ClanX 17 on US East, for example, right? Which is like the prime place to talk shit and you could play for bands, you know, 1v1 for bands. I don't remember what the challenge was. There was a certain combination of words that you had to type, you know, for 1v1 or 1v1 for a ban, you know, like the loser gets banned. So it was pretty hardcore, ClanX 17, and all the better players were there. At some point I was in ClanX 17, as was Tasteless. And so, you know, I've probably gotten banned and unbanned from that channel a bunch of times, as has probably everyone ever. So Starcraft 2 happens, fast forward to Starcraft 2, right? This is, I don't know, 5-6 years after the fact. Starcraft 2 comes out, you know? And then the events start happening, and Tasteless is a commentator in Korea, and I'm making my team root, right? Like, we're pretty big, we're going to all the events. And so we start meeting at events, Tasteless and I, right? And we're cool, you know, like, we talk normally. It's like, it's been a while. We're not particularly great friends at that point or anything like that. And at the first event that I see him, you know, I pull him to the side and I'm like, hey, you know, like, this happened like a long time ago. So yeah, I'm not sure how to bring it about. But I remember like a while ago, I kind of fucked you over, you know, like, I didn't realize you were practicing for something, and I was pretty happy that I beat you, and I posted all the replays, you know, and that was kind of fucked up, and, you know, I'm sorry. And he's like, oh, CatZ, don't worry about it, dude. I forgot about that shit, man. What are you talking about? You know, like, just very tasteless. I'm like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a bigger deal than just brushing it off, you know? And he's like, oh, dude, forget about it, bro. Like, nothing, bro. I didn't even remember any of this, dude. Then later, I'm hanging out with Druby, Tasteless, and Artosis. And Druby and I go to Tasteless and Artosis' room, and we start drinking whiskey there. And Tasteless is already too drunk, so he passes out in his bed, you know, and I'm just drinking with Artosis, and Druby, I don't know where Druby went. He must have gone to sleep as well. So I'm just drinking with Artosis. And I'm drinking with Artosis, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's great, you know, events and fucking, it's good to see you guys. Like I was actually kind of worried because like there was an incident with Tasteless, you know, like a while ago, like nothing huge at this point, so I was a little bit worried. And Artosis goes, oh, the replays. so Tasteless very clearly had remembered and had told Artosis about it, you know. And I was like, yeah, the replays, you know. He was like, oh, the replays. Oh, that moment was too funny. So that event happens, you know, it's all great. We all go home. Next event comes around. At this point, I think I'm friends with Tasteless. You know, we've probably talked in between. We've chilled in between. Then another event happens. This was, I remember it was this was at one of Mike Morheim's birthday parties. Mike usually hosts, or often hosts his birthday party is near BlizzCon. And so he usually has a birthday party at the bowling alley near BlizzCon, or used to anyway, when there wasn't Corona, you know? And it's just the Starcraft people, because he loves Starcraft so much, that man. So it's usually like his birthday party is the Starcraft people. So we were hanging out at Mike Morheim's birthday party, and outside, I'm drinking with Tasteless, you know? And you know, as per usual, this comes up. And at some point, Tasteless is like, dude, CatZ, you're so nice to me, man. I'm like, you too, Nick. Like I'm really sorry. He's like, no, CatZ, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, what are you sorry about, Nick? Dude, like, I told you I didn't remember and stuff, but I fucking hated you, dude. And he goes, I joined Clan X17 just so that I could ban you, dude. And he was like, I'm sorry, dude. You know? And I'm like, oh, it's okay, Nick. You know? It's been a while. It's water under the bridge. You know, we hung out in between 1,000 more times. Or at, you know, every event that I see him. Tasteless is one of my favorite people. Okay, like he studied philosophy, so the guy's quite brilliant. He's a blast to talk to. So you know, like I usually hang out with, like, if I had to choose someone to just talk to all night, it would probably be Tasteless. Like Artosis is around there too, but Tasteless is fucking. He's a very fucking smart and like funny man. So he's a blast to hang out with for sure. And so the 20th anniversary of Starcraft eventually comes up, right? And there's the 20th anniversary event, and at the 20th anniversary event, we kind of resurface this. So we touch on this briefly, as in we bring up the story, not as I've told it like in its entirety, but we kind of rehash the broad strokes of this story that I've told you. And that was when we played basically our show match for the Starcraft 20th anniversary. And I really had no business, because I haven't played Brood War in like 10 years at that point, right? And I really had no business fucking winning. I played a show match against Idra. I got destroyed. I tried like a slow lurker drop that I thought was super creative, but apparently it became a thing fucking years after I stopped. And then I played Tasteless, and I made a hatchery in his base, and the motherfucker died. I wasn't expecting to win, you know? So he's so fucking salty, as you can imagine. Because I 6-1 or 6-0'd him, and then I was a dick about it, right? And then there's this like this clear like open wound that has been to some extent glue to our friendship, like a really weird glue. And then that happens, you know, and I beat him, and I'm I think I went like 7-0 to the camera or something like that. So he really wants a revenge. He really wants a rematch. And so I think I have to give him a rematch. But if I'm gonna give him a rematch, I can't just, you know, fall over and die. I have to like practice for like a week or something like that. Like give him an actual match. And then hopefully Tasteless can beat me this time. You can't give us CatZ lore, then install Brood War. True. That is my Brood War lore, yeah. Just make sure you don't practice super hard, otherwise it's not worth it if he loses again. Yeah. It would suck if he loses again. I'm rooting for him, but I'm gonna, you know, I messaged him because I made the tweet, and then he like retweeted it, and he was like, you know, vote for him to reinstall it, and he was like, when is the show match, in all caps, you know. He DM'd me. I'm like, I'm thinking on it. I'm talking to my trainers. I need prep if I reinstall. And I said, but if I come for you, Tassels, I'm coming for you, bitch. And it's true. Like, if I go for it, I'm gonna try to win.